Habits, the invisible architects of our lives, shape our success and failures, often without our conscious realization. These seemingly insignificant routines silently dictate the trajectory of our lives, molding our actions, choices, and ultimately our destiny. They are the silent puppeteers, the unseen conductors orchestrating the symphony of our daily existence. Enter the world of Atomic Habits by James Clear, a book that masterfully unravels the power and potential of these habitual behaviors. The central idea is simple yet profound. Small, consistent changes can lead to significant outcomes. Like atoms, the smallest units of matter, these minute adjustments in our daily routines can collectively form the bedrock of substantial transformation. This isn't just about breaking bad habits or forming good ones. It's about understanding the mechanics of habits, the hows and whys, and harnessing this knowledge to create a life of purpose and achievement. As we delve into the chapters of this enlightening book, we'll discover the transformative power of atomic habits. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. This is the essence of Chapter 1. As we delve into the first chapter of James Clear's enlightening book, Atomic Habits, we are introduced to the foundational principles of habit formation. The chapter begins by emphasizing how our lives are essentially a product of our habits. Every action, every decision, every thought we have is an outcome of these ingrained patterns of behavior. Clear posits that the power of habit lies not in a single monumental change, but in the accumulation of small, seemingly insignificant shifts in our daily routines. It's about recognizing that our habits are the building blocks of our lives, and the quality of our lives heavily depends on the quality of these blocks. The first chapter also introduces us to the concept of marginal gains, a principle that has revolutionized the world of sports and business alike. It's about making a 1% improvement every day, a small change that may seem trivial in the short run but can lead to significant transformations over time. Imagine a plane taking off from Los Angeles with its destination set as New York. If the pilot decides to adjust the heading by just 3.5 degrees south, the plane would end up in Washington, D.C., not New York. That's the power of small changes, the power of marginal gains. Clear also talks about the importance of focusing on the process, not the outcome. It's about embracing the journey, not just the destination. The goal isn't to write a book. The goal is to become a writer. The goal isn't to run a marathon. The goal is to become a runner. It's about transforming your identity, not just your actions. As we close this chapter, we're left with an empowering message. Success is not a one-time big event. It's the product of daily habits, not the once-in-a-lifetime transformations. Remember, it's not about making a big change, but about making a series of small changes consistently. Ever wondered how habits form in the brain? Chapters 2 and 3 have the answers. Let's dive into the fascinating science of habit formation. According to James Clear, there are 4 steps to this process: cue, craving, response, and reward. This is the cycle that keeps us hooked. Whether it's a good habit like jogging every morning or a bad one like reaching for junk food when stressed. Firstly, let's talk about the cue. This is the trigger that initiates the behavior. It could be something as simple as a time of the day, a location, or an emotional state. For example, hearing your alarm clock in the morning could be the cue to get up and start your day. Next up is the craving. This isn't about the habit itself, but rather the change in state it delivers. When you see a notification on your phone, you don't crave the act of checking it. Instead, you crave the feeling of connection it promises. The third step is the response. This is the actual habit you perform, which can be a thought or an action. How quickly and accurately you respond depends on how motivated you are and how much friction is associated with the behavior. For instance, you are more likely to go for a run if your running shoes are right by your bed. Finally, we have the reward. This is the end goal of every habit. Rewards satisfy our cravings and teach us which actions are worth remembering in the future. If a behavior is satisfying, we are likely to repeat it in the future, thus forming a habit. Now here's a thought to ponder. Every action you take is driven by the desire to solve a problem. Understanding this can be a game changer. You realize that habits are simply solutions to the recurring problems in your life, and there you have it. The four-step process of habit formation: cue, craving, response, and reward. Keep in mind, though, that knowledge is just the beginning. Understanding how habits work is the first step towards mastering them. Now that we understand how habits work, how do we go about building good ones and breaking the bad? This is where the magic of James Clear's Atomic Habits truly unfolds. The author suggests a four-step model for habit formation: cue, craving, response, and reward. Essentially, a cue triggers a craving, which motivates a response, leading to a reward. This cycle, repeated over time, is what forms a habit. To build good habits, we need to make this cycle work in our favor. First, we must make the cue of our desired habit obvious. Are you trying to read more? Leave the book you want to read in a place where you'll see it every day. The more visible the cue, the more likely you are to act on it. Next, we need to make the habit attractive. This can be achieved by pairing an action you want to do with an action you need to do. For instance, if you enjoy watching a particular show, you could combine it with a workout. This way, the thought of exercising becomes more appealing. The third step is to make the habit easy. Clear suggests reducing friction associated with good habits to make them more accessible. If you want to eat healthier, for instance, keep healthy snacks within reach and make them easy to consume. Finally, we need to make the habit satisfying. If a habit does not reward you, you are unlikely to repeat it. So find a way to immediately reward yourself after completing a good habit. Now, what about breaking bad habits? Well, it's essentially the same process, but in reverse. Make the cues of your bad habits invisible, the habits unattractive, the actions difficult, and the rewards unsatisfying. This way, you can disrupt the cycle and start to break away from these unwanted behaviors. The key to building good habits and breaking bad ones lies in manipulating the four steps of habit formation. So whether you are trying to start a new routine or break an old one, remember these four steps. Make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, and make it satisfying. With these strategies in mind, you're well on your way to taking control of your habits. As we dive deeper into the book, we encounter advanced techniques for mastering habits. Let's start with a compelling concept: habit stacking. James Clear introduces this as a method of pairing a new habit with an existing one. Imagine if every time you poured your morning coffee, you also took a moment to jot down one thing you're grateful for. Over time, these two actions become intrinsically linked, making the new habit easier to establish. Next, we have the technique of temptation bundling. This involves tying a habit you need to do with one you want to do. Maybe you love listening to audiobooks but struggle to find the time. What if you only allowed yourself to listen while doing household chores? Suddenly, cleaning doesn't seem so bad. Environment design also plays a crucial role. Clear argues that by manipulating our surroundings, we can make good habits more accessible and bad habits more difficult. Imagine you want to watch less TV. What if, instead of having the remote on the coffee table, it was tucked away in a drawer? Or perhaps you wish to read more. Place a book on your bedside table and you're more likely to pick it up. Another technique is the 2-minute rule. The idea here is to make new habits so easy that you can't say no. Want to start jogging? Just put on your running shoes and step outside. That's it. The act is so small it seems insignificant, but it's the first step towards a bigger habit. Lastly, we learn about the importance of a habit tracker. This tool allows us to visually see our progress, providing immediate satisfaction and reinforcing the habit. Whether it's a calendar marking days you've exercised or an app tracking your reading progress, seeing your success can be incredibly motivating. With these advanced techniques, we can truly become the masters of our habits. Remember, it's all about making the good habits easier and the bad ones harder. It's a journey, but with these tools, you're well equipped to navigate it. We've taken a journey through the world of atomic habits, but what does it all boil down to? It's about the immense power that resides in the smallest of actions. It's about understanding that monumental changes are not achieved overnight, but are the result of small, consistent steps taken every single day. Just like atoms, the smallest unit of matter, come together to form everything we know and see. Atomic habits, the smallest units of our routines, come together to shape our lives. James Clear, in his enlightening book, emphasizes this power of consistency. It's not about making drastic changes, but about adjusting your sails just 1 degree and sailing a completely different course over time. Remember, every action you take is a vote for the person you wish to become. Every small step, every atomic habit contributes to the larger picture, the grand masterpiece that is your life. The power to transform your life lies in your hands, or rather, in your habits. Start making those small changes today and watch your life transform.